Good enough. All right. Does it say recording there? Does it say recording at the top?
Yes, you are recording.
Does it? Good.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to start from the beginning and just tell everybody hello, because I've got a couple other people who just joined. And welcome. I will be taking you step by step and tell you exactly what's going to happen, but we're going to go over a couple little ground rules. Everyone needs to have themselves on mute. Okay, so go up there to your face, and Sonia's not there, so she can't hear me, and just put yourself on mute. Okay.
The only face I have is yours, Joan. What happened to mine?
Oh, well, yours might
Wait.
be there
hi,
somewhere.
Janie. Hi, Janie.
Hi.
Okay. Sonia, I'm going to have yourself put yourself on mute. Perfect. Now, during the class, if you need to take yourself off mute and ask me something, by all means, take yourself off mute and ask me. Okay, like if you forgot what color we're using or something like that. Okay. Another thing that will help you is if you go to my picture there of my hands and pin that video. You can go to where the 3 dots are on the, I believe it's upper right hand side, and it'll say you can pin this one. And that way, during the class, this one will be the biggest, because sometimes I'll go wide and I'll back it up. Sometimes I'll zoom in a little bit, and then sometimes I'll zoom in really close. So that way you can see what I'm doing. And if it ever gets really out of focus, just tell me. And then all I have to do is put my hand up there and focus it again. Okay? All right. So the first thing we're going to do is, besides having your water, you hopefully have a hair dryer. It's not the end of the world if you don't. It's just going to take a little bit longer. You know, you might have to wave yours around a little bit, because it's really important not to do certain steps if things are wet. And what you're going to do right now is the part that I love, because you don't have to be able to draw. So you take your pencil. This is a soft pencil, number 2B or 4B or whatever it is. And wherever the bird is and wherever the drawing is, I am going to be putting down a layer of graphite. I'm going to make it fairly dark. You may have to sharpen your pencil a number of times. That's normal. If it breaks, don't worry. My pencils usually disappear pretty quickly. Okay? So you want to fill it in so that when you pick it up, anywhere the bird is or any of the design, you know, the branches and the buds and all that other stuff, as long, see, I've already got to sharpen it. Got some handy dandy. I got a little bit better sharpeners this time because the other ones were breaking. That's what happens when you go to the dollar store and buy 6 for $1. They break. So I ended up spending a little bit more money, and hopefully these will not break. If it breaks, don't give it back to me. Just throw it away, because I will not know if it's broken or not, and I don't want it back. Okay, the only problem with these is that the shavings go everywhere. Okay, I go fairly dark, you know, just because I don't want to have a situation where I don't have the lines show up. Some people don't do this part because they're pretty good at drawing. I am not good at drawing. So this is the way I cheat. This is what I do anytime I have a drawing. Sometimes I print pictures off of the internet that are, you know, like just photographs, and I do them, and then that way I can copy them. And not everybody does this. They have light boxes or they do something like that. But anyway, I'm going to go and make sure once I hold it up to the light, I can see if I got everything. Nope. Go down to the bottom and I see that I didn't get the bud. So a little girl, another little girl, there's a girl tonight who's 7 years old taking the class, and her sister and her mom. So her sister's 13 and the little girl is 7. So we've got some youngsters here. And so I have to be on my best behavior, and when I make a mistake, I shouldn't swear, right? Or I'll get in trouble. No, I teach at a Catholic school, so I have to be careful about my swearing. All right, looks pretty good. So yours, when you're all done, should just look like a nice dirty mess. Now, if you look at your paints, I have the cellophane on them, but I also have a piece of tape. This tape is supposedly the type of tape that won't hurt your paper, but I don't trust it. I don't trust any tape. So what I do is I take it and I gently rub it on my pants leg, or you can rub it just a little bit on your shirt, because then that takes away the initial stickiness of it. So it won't be so sticky as to ruin your paper. Okay? So let me get a piece of paper out now. All right. And what you're going to do, you can put it on either side. Last night I did the smooth side. I'm going to do the rough side tonight just to see how it turns out. I'm going to place it right in the center. And I'm going to take my piece of tape, and it's not going to hold it there real steady, so I'm just going to make sure I don't move it around. And my mom's calling, so I'm going to tell her real quick that I'm busy. She's from Montana. Hey, Mom, can I call you back? I'm teaching a class.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Call me back.
Okay,
Call me
bye.
back.
Couple hours, okay? Bye. We got some emergencies going on in my family. And it's hard when you live this far away. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to tell you right now that you can put a little mark on your paper with your pencil in the 4 corners, because we don't need to, when we're doing the blue, when you finally get around to doing the blue, we don't need to have it cover the whole piece of paper, because the frame I gave you is only an 8x10 with a 5x7 opening. So whether you want it to go this way or whether you want it to go this way, if I cover this whole area, I'm going to be fine. And you can even check to make sure. I'll just make sure this is yeah and yeah. So that's fine. I don't have to worry about that. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take your pen and very carefully, oh, I already went over the line. Well, his nose will be going up. And I'm going to be tracing kind of hard all the details so that, I'll show you, I'm going to even have the point where I'm going to do the difference between the little fluffy part on the top, right, like that, and where the green thing is, the little bud area. And then I'm going to go through and get in every single detail. I don't color anything in, but I want to make sure that every outline is there. Okay? And now I'll be quiet while you guys are working. And then when it's completely done, you can check it before you take it off, and you'll notice that it goes straight through, and then we'll be dealing with that in a little while. But there's a total of 7 buds. Anyway, the girl that did it last night, I got to tell you, I don't know how old she was, 7 or 10, but hers turned out well. You know, I think that children are good at this because they're good at following directions and they haven't learned any real bad habits, you know? Sometimes I think they do better than adults for new things. Don't let it slip around. The reason I do that to the the tape is I've actually spent money on good tape, and it drives me crazy because you don't find out until you put the paint on what happens. And then you see that it's ruined it. So I just hate that. I'm even drawing his little hat, you know, the little area and around where his what's it called? His little wing goes. And then I'm putting in his feather area. You can make it a little sharper if you want. And for his eyes, I'm just putting in his little, you know, it looks like he's got or she has eyeliner on. And then later I'll be filling that in. So that's what I'm doing for that. You know, I thought this painting wouldn't take 2 hours. I thought it would maybe tops be an hour and a half. But we were done after like 2 hours, 2 hours, 15 minutes. But we were also having some technical difficulties, and we seemed to start right away. So I was very pleased. And everyone named their bird afterwards. And they told me if it was a boy or a girl. And you could really tell. I know that's crazy. And I know that girl ones are not as pretty as the boy ones, you know, in their world. But it was cute. My favorite name was Francisco. And it was funny. Penelope was another one. Wallace, Louis. I am sweating. Ah, I must have really worn myself out when I was putting that dark stuff on. I am in such bad shape. My goodness. Okay. Or maybe it's a hot flash. I don't know. Okay. I'm looking at it. I pick it up. Oh, I forgot. See? I can see I forgot to put where he was standing. So I guess it's important to pick it up and look to see what you're doing. Otherwise, he's Houdini. Okay. Looks pretty good. Forgot some more. The reason I use a red pen is just, it doesn't matter. It could be green, but it's just easier to see. That's the only reason I do it. Oops. Okay, when you're completely done, just give me the thumbs up. And then, good. What I do is I just fold the piece behind it and put it off to the side just so I can look at it every now and again. And then that gives me an idea of where I want to put the shadows and things like that. That's all I do. I just, you know, look at it. If it's too dirty and it kind of grosses you out, you can just put a little piece of paper underneath it or something. Okay. I'm going to wait until I see everybody looking up and giving me the thumbs up before I go to the next stage. I don't want to rush anybody. Are you guys ready? Dun, dun, dun. How about you put your finger up if you need more time? Anybody? Okay, I'll wait. No problem. I had a couple people who wanted to take the class, but they couldn't. Their life got too busy and crazy. So I'm going to send them a recording of this class, and that way they can stop it and fast forward and get through this business and all that other stuff. And then if they need to see another demonstration done, they can do it. If anybody wants, there's plenty of paint. And if anybody wants to do another one, by all means, I will send the video to you. It'll be from tonight's. So, does anybody need more time? Okay, I'll wait. Not a big deal. Now, I'm going to actually drink wine during class, so I have to be careful not to dip my brush in my wine, because that has happened before. So I made the mistake of giving my 91 students my email address. Hi, Senora. It's blah, blah, this person. What is the homework? I don't understand the description. Call someone. How about that? Call someone. Smiley face, so I don't sound mean, right? Ah. So we have back to school night next Thursday night. So I'm not going to do a class on Thursday. I'm only going to do it on Wednesday. I don't see that's a problem. And again, if you can't make Wednesday and you really want to do it, then I'll send you the video. No big deal. Okay, does anybody else need more time? Oh, we got the whole family there at the Atwood house. Oh, and the dad too? Is he doing one too, or is he just feeding you? Yeah, okay, good. All right, anybody else need it? I can't see Pearl, Shadra, or Missy, but I'm hoping you're okay. You guys okay? Oh, hi. Okay, you're okay, right? At any time, just take yourself off mute and holler if you need more time. Okay, take your crazy looking eraser. Some people, they're new. Other people, they're old, but this is what it looks like, chewed gum. You're going to take it and you're going to go around and get rid of the smudges. And you're also going to gently go over it. You can dab it, pound it if you want, but you're going to get rid of the real harsh lines. Okay? You don't need them to be real harsh, especially around the belly. Okay? Mine's actually putting down a little bit of color because it's got some other things going on in it. So I'm just dabbing it. And I know we spent all that time putting down that, but that way, when we do our painting, we don't have to worry about like the pencil showing through quite as strong. Okay? So I can still see everything that's happening. All right? So let me just explain to you what we're going to do. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to be using our large brush. I gave you 3 brushes. You might want to rinse them off and make sure that you make sure they're clean because you know other people have used them. So what you can do is just make sure that your big one, medium one, and small one, some of them are new, is clean. Because I would hate for you to think it was clean and it's not. The ones that are purple look dirty, but they're not. That's just the way they're dyed. They have that little dark part there. So what I'm going to do, which seems a little weird, is I'm going to go ahead and get everything wet except for the chunky part of him. So that means I'm going to go and get this wet gently around his body. I'm going to get this wet right over his tail. I'm going to be okay with that. I'm even going to go right through his beak. And I'm going to go through and everything except for if you were to eat him, sorry to say that, if you were to eat him, this is the chunky meaty part of him. That's the only part that you don't want to get wet. Then once we do that, hang on. Before we get them wet, sorry about that, I would like you to, there's a little tiny thing in there. It's so cute. It's a little, I don't know what they call them, pipettes or something. I would like you to just put a little bit of water on this blue and a little bit of water on this blue. We're going to get them going first. Okay, so move your painting out of the way so you don't mess it up. And now you're going to take, you can take your big brush, that's okay. And you're just going to,
Joan,
yes,
question.
yes,
Is the pipette or whatever you call it
yeah,
in the bag?
it should be. And if it's not, then just use your brush.
Okay.
I, I was pretty good at putting it in there. You can
Yeah,
dump
I
it.
see it.
You
I
see
see
it?
it. It's
Yeah,
just that it's
yeah.
clear. So,
So what you're going to do is, because all your paints have dried, and that's okay. This is normal. I took all your paints out of a tube and I put them on here. Most people, what they'll do is they'll take their tube paint and put it so that it's little squares, and then they harden up, and that's what they use. And then once you get it nice and soggy, you're going to bring it over, because I want you to be taking it from here. It's much easier than taking it from this one. So you can go all the way. You can just get it all the way dissolved and go ahead and put it in the little square next to it.
How many drops from the pipette?
I would probably put one whole one, and then you can put another one if you want to, because now I can see the bottom. See? I can go all the way down and I can see the little chunky thing at the bottom, and I can do it again if I want, because that, you want a lot of have a lot there. Now I lost my little pipette or whatever the heck is called, right? So if you lost it, it's not the end of the world. I can always take water from the glass and just dip my brush in it. That's old fashioned right there. My pipette. Okay. So you should, it takes a while to get to the bottom. You gotta kind of wiggle it around a bit. And then bring it out there. I say bring it out there because if we're painting from here, we're likely to get big smudges and stuff, big chunks of color, and I don't want that. It's just watercolor, and what we do is we use water, and we normally get the paper wet too, get it nice and wet. And so that's why I want you guys to kind of get used to not actually painting from the actual pod. We'll call this the pod. We don't want to paint from the pod. Well, I got most of mine out, so I'm going to say that's good. Now, I think it'd be nice to get the other blue going too. And I'm actually going to add some of this to the cerulean blue, because I think having a little bit extra color will look pretty. You don't have to do a lot. It doesn't have to be super dark, but I just think this alone is too washed out. If you like that light color, keep it. It's totally up to you. When you put it down, you're going to be kind of shocked and think it's too dark. It always dries 30% lighter. So a third of what you put down will disappear. It will not seem dark at all. Okay? All right, what I normally do is I give a demonstration first, and then you guys are on your own. Okay? So I'm going to wash off my brush. Can you see that fairly well? And then I'm going to go ahead and gently put the water down. Okay? I'm careful around him because I don't want his belly. I can go right through his feet, right through everything. And then I'm going to go crazy and just get some water on it. Once I've done that, okay, I'm careful around the bird again, like I said, the meaty part. And then I just make sure that no matter where I'm going to paint, there is water. I don't want you painting if the water's not on there, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and just do the exact same thing I did with my water, but this time I'm going to have my paint on my brush, okay? Now, it's going to dry quickly. That's normal. And so you want to just make sure that you get it fairly even, okay? So I'm going to get my thing going, and then I'm going to be real gentle around this guy. And there you go. That's how I'm doing it. you guys can go ahead and do the exact same thing. And remember, you want to cover to the little points that you put on your paper. So if you have to, put more water on it and bring it on out. It doesn't have to be the same consistency. I mean, it could be lighter. It could be darker near the bird, but you do want to make sure that you've covered it, especially right up to the bird. So that's what I'm doing. Moving it around. Okay. And then you're just going to keep putting it on there. If you notice it's drying, put a little water on it. I like to keep it kind of even. I don't want there to be different levels because then it looks funky. I don't like it to look funky. All right. A little bit more. And now I think I'm done. Now, sometimes people like to have a little bit of, I don't know, just a little bit of action going on in their painting. So what some people do is they'll take their paper towel and gently place it down. Just kind of tap it a little bit and then pick it up. Whoa, I have too much pattern of bounty. You could practically read the word bounty. So I'm going to go in and fix it. I forgot that I have a pattern on my paper towels, so I didn't want that. But that's okay. I can go in and fix the parts where I ended up getting some stuff. And when you have a little bit of action going on, it makes it look more interesting. Remember, right up to the bird to get it so it's smooth. That would be good. Okay, we are done with that. Leave it. Leave it, leave it, leave it. It's hard to leave it though, because you're going to want to keep futzing, because that's what we do. But I have to tell you, we have to stop, because the more we futz with it, the different levels we're going to get. And I don't want any more levels. Okay? So, yep, that's it. Can't touch it anymore. So go ahead and put that off to the side for now. Just lay it flat somewhere and get rid of it, because we're going to work on getting everything else ready. Okay? So I'm going to rinse off my brush, and I'm probably not going to use my big brush anymore. So you can dry it off. It's best, even though these aren't the best of the best, but they're not the worst of the worst. So I'd like them to stay dry. Don't leave them in the water because it'll ruin them. And then all the little pieces will come out, and then we can't use them anymore. So now I'm going to use my medium-sized brush. Most of you got a medium. I hope everybody got a medium-sized one. It's not the smallest one. Again, I'm going to get it wet and make sure it's clean. And now I'm going to go ahead and put just a couple little drops. I don't need to use my pipette or whatever the thing is called. And I'm going to move it around a little bit. And this is the beautiful violet color. They actually call this purple lake. So I'm gonna move it around a bit, and I'm going to bring it up to the second square. So this is where I'll be taking my my color from. And again, you don't need to go very far. I mean, we're only doing 7 little things, and you can see I gave you way too much. I was just going around plopping it in there. But anyway, it's like cooking. I like to make way too much food. I'd rather have too much at the dinner table and leftovers than not enough. and have people hungry. Okay, the next one down is purple. Beautiful color. And you can go ahead and bring that down. Dip your brush in the water, and that's your purple. If you decide to just do purple buds, that's okay too. Your buds can be pink and purple. They could be just purple. It doesn't matter. It's whatever you feel like doing them. I mean, heck, you could even add a little bit more dark blue. I mean, of this blue if you want. That's a possibility too. If you are going to do something funky like that, I would suggest doing it in another square just to see what it looks like, because you don't want to ruin your purple. So I'm actually taking a little bit of my dark blue. Ooh, that's pretty. And I'm mixing it. I'm getting some dark purple in there just to see what it would look like. All right, I like it. Sometimes it's nice to have different colors, different variations in case you want to add it to it. Okay? All right, now rinse off your brush and we're going to go down. And again, you barely need any of this green. I mean, we are just using a little bit. Now, people that have been in my class before know how I feel about this green. I think it's ugly. So, to make it look a little warmer, I will take a little bit of my Payne's Gray, which is the second one down. I'll rub a little bit. It looks like black. It's actually gray. And I'm going to take just a little bit of it, okay? And I'm going to rub it. Whoops, too much. Then that's all right. I just have to get some more green. And I'm going to rub it in there. And then until I get a darker green. I think it looks much better as a darker green. But I still like having the lighter green too. So I'm going to have one that's lighter green and one that's darker that I made with a little bit of Payne's Gray. Okay, and then add a little bit of water. And now I am completely ready with two different greens for when I do the green part of the flowers. Okay, all right, I'm not going to get these guys ready yet. There's no reason to, because we're going to be spending a lot of time working on this. And then when we're ready, we can go ahead and use these guys. So there's no reason to get ready for that. Okay? All right. Now let's look and see how dry is our painting. Well, we can't do anything to it until it's dry. Because what will happen is if I try and do the tail, it'll bleed. It'll just go all over the place and it'll look horrible. I can't do anything right now until it's dry. So if you have a blow dryer, you can put it on low and take a little bit of time to do it. If you don't have a blow dryer, then just sit there and try and get a little wind on it, and we'll get it dried up that way. Okay? That would be the best thing. I'm going to put you guys on mute while I use my blow dryer, because otherwise it's obnoxious. Okay? I'll be right back.
Can you put the palette under
the camera so
the
we can
camera.
look at while you're blow drying? Thank you.
How you guys doing? Good? All right. So I think what I'll do is go to wide. There. Oh, there it is. I finally found it. Okay, I'm going to feel it, and it feels fairly dry. Yes, feels very dry. Good. Okay, probably the best part, what we're going to do first, is we're going to be doing the branches. Okay, so I'm going to take my medium brush, and I did not bring over some of the Payne's Gray. So I'm going to bring over a little bit of Payne's Gray, get some water in there because we're going to barely use any color. It's going to be as light as we can make it. Okay? So we do not need very much color at all. I gave you way too much Payne's Gray. I am wasteful. It's true. I have been told that I'm wasteful. So what we're going to do is we don't have to pre-wet it, but you'll notice there's a lot of water there. So because there's so much water, I'm going to actually dry off a little bit on my paper towel because I don't want so much water. See? So a little bit goes a long way, and I'm going to make sure that I paint in just up until the little cone, you know, like if the bud was the ice cream, then the green part is the cone. So I'm just going to paint right up to that, and hopefully you can see the lines. Hopefully you can see your branches. By the way, paint right through his feet. We do not care about his feet because we don't care about his feet because we're going to be painting them black later. And so I don't have to worry about them. Go right through them. Da, da, da. Okay. Now, you'll notice this is very, very light. Well, as you go along, you can add a little bit more color. You know, let it kind of cruise around. Get control of the water so you don't have too much. You can always rinse it off. You can always add more. So it's just a constant, by the end, your paper towel will be pretty messy because I'm constantly wiping off my paintbrush. And you know how twigs don't have uniform color. So if it's not completely perfect, that's good. You don't want it to be perfect. You don't want it. Now, every now and again, you should be looking at your painting. So you should have that sort of nearby so you can keep track of how you're painting it. Because I can't really see this one, so I'm just going to throw that in there like that. Get a little bit more. All right, too much water. Go in there, soak it up with like it's mopping it up. And you know what? If your branches need to get longer or a little thinner at the end, you can go ahead and make them longer. It's your picture. It's okay if your branches have a little bit different stuff going on. Everyone's is going to come out differently. It's amazing. And they all have their personality. That's what I like. The best part. Some people were real heavy-handed on his head part, and it made it look like he was sort of frowning. It was adorable. And other people were like, I like to make him look fat, and I did quite a bit of color in his stomach. Some people put very, very little color in his stomach, which I thought was interesting. It's just the way it turns out, you know. By the way, I have a little fuzzy on mine and pull it out. So now my twig has a bump, but I don't really care. It's all right. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's a twig. Now, I have one person who was in last night's class, and she's taking it again. She wanted to see if she could do another bird, which is fine. And what I was saying last night was the reason I think that the branches are gray is because the bird is brown, and it's just such a nice combination to have the bird sitting on the gray with the blue, and then the bird really sticks out. Now I'm running out of a color of my black, so or the Payne's gray, so I'm going to get some more. And I want to make sure that it's kind of the same color, so I add quite a bit of water to it. Okay. Oops. If you accidentally paint the part that's supposed to be green, it's not the end of the world. We can go back in there and put the green in there. It'll just be maybe a little darker, you know. I actually used to have a bird. I had a parrot, a red-headed Amazon, or maybe it was a yellow-headed Amazon, I don't know. But it drove me crazy. Somebody said that if you have a parrot, they live for 80, 90 years. Many people have to put it in their will because it'll outlive you. Well, this bird, I couldn't handle it. It was like an $800 bird, and I brought it to the Humane Society. And I said, please take the cage. The cage was just beautiful. I said, I am afraid that I will hurt my bird because it's driving me crazy. And she's like, okay. She ended up keeping it because her bird had just passed or something, so she was thrilled. I'm wondering how Rosie's doing today. Sometimes I turn my painting upside down to get a better handle of things. Like when I'm doing the, you know, I don't want to get my hand in it. So I just go in there. There we go. I actually waited till my husband was out of town when I brought, actually I didn't bring her. I said, could somebody come to my house and pick up my bird? And they did it. Just was not a good bird mom. Okay. Ooh. If it gets a little dark, it doesn't matter because at the very end we have white, and we can use the white to mellow it out. So we can do all sorts of things and fix it at the end. Okay. So once we're done with that, that's it. That's all I'm going to do for now. Maybe add a little bit darker, not much. Mine got a little, oops. A nice place to add a little darker color is right at the, you know, where they, what is the word, where they branch off, you know, where they come together, little intersections. I figured why not. Okay. All right. So I'm going to zoom in on mine. See if I can get a little zoomy, more zoomy in there. And I'm going to show you that it is still fairly wet, and that's okay. I'm going to leave it. I don't have to dry it or anything. So what am I going to do now? Well, I'm going to rinse off my brush again, dry it off a bit, and I'm actually now going to be using this color. And I'm going to get a little bit on there. Oops, it's already starting to dry. I'm going to get my paintbrush going, and I'm going to go in and dab in some color on. I'm going to make sure that I cover up the pencil marking. And then once I get the color in, I can go in and take up a little bit too. I like to put it on, but then sort of take it off at the same time because it looks like then there's more action going on. It's just prettier. Last night, I had everybody wetting the area, but tonight I'm not going to wet it. I'm just going to do it this way. put it down, soak up a little bit. There you go. So there's a total of 7. You can make them bigger if you want. You can make them fluffier. That's okay. And then after we get them in, then we're going to go and put a little bit of purple in them. So remember, this isn't the real highlight of the picture, but it's obvious that he's sitting in a tree with little buds in it. So do I have 7 buds? I think I do. All right. You know, you can always go in and make them darker too, just by getting a little extra. Okay, there. Now, I want to put some purple in there. So I'm going to go ahead while it's still wet, and I'm just going to dab in a little bit of purple on the edges. I think it looks pretty. So we got some little tiny pieces of purple. Not much. I'm barely touching it. But then at the end, when we use our pen, if we want to, it's going to look really pretty. A little white pen will be beautiful. Oops. Mine got a little bigger, but that's okay. One lady made all hers look feathery, which is fine. It looked good, I thought. You know, people just do their own thing. If, as a little something, if you're interested, sometimes people will take a clean paper towel and just dab it a little, all right, because you're picking up some of the paint. So you can just dab it. Well, sometimes it helps if you use a very small piece. You can take your finger and dab it a little. That's almost better. And then it will look like you've got little petals going on in there. Sometimes, if it's wet enough. Yeah. So in the end, hopefully yours doesn't look just like a blob. Instead, it looks like you've got a little pink, you've got a little, maybe a little purple going on. And if nothing's happening to yours, it's probably because it's too wet. So you just want to dab it with your paper towel and go back in and do some little dabs. Little dab will do ya. Okay? All right. So while we were working on our 7 buds, it was drying. And I am now going to, I can either use my, if you like the point on your medium one, or you can use your smaller one. It's up to you. Sometimes I use my smaller one because then I can add smaller details. Whoops, this one's dirty. So I'm going to make sure I clean it off and get rid of whatever color somebody else used. And now I'm going to start with my light green. Just going to get a little bit on there with that because I've got a dark green and I have a light green. And I'm going to go ahead and go into the little sugar cone part, you know, the little triangle, and I'm going to dab it in. If my bud is not completely dry, just don't touch it. Don't touch the edge of it, and then it'll be fine. You know, it's not the end of the world that it's not touching, because it'll be dry by the time you get all of them done. So I'm going to go through and dab in a little bit of green. And then right afterwards, what I'll do is take the darker green and put it especially under where the flower is. So it looks like a little shadow. And I'll show you how I do that. I go in there and just put a little bit under, just under, dab it, and it really changes the look of it, and it makes your, it'll actually make the flower look heavier. And then I'm even going to put a little bit on the side going down. And if you want to, you can have it touch. It doesn't matter that it's going into the stem. you can clean off your brush, get it just a little bit damp, and you can move that around a little bit. Sometimes it's nice not just to plop down color, but to have a little variation. It's the tiny details that'll make your painting look just so cute. No one will know how you got it to look like that. They'll be like, you are amazing. Okay, so I get my little dark in there, go down, and now the lines are too hard, and if they're too hard, I get it, take a damp brush and gently buff it out a little bit so that I can move it around and make it do what I want it to do. Less is more. You don't want much on your paintbrush. Use your paper towel to take it off and keep control of your water. Okay, I'm going to go ahead with the lighter color. Oops, too much. Okay. You can always go back over a part if it looks like it dried too light. Sometimes that happens. You think it's the right color, and then you go back and you think, well, where did the color go? So, oops. Some of my stems became green, and that's okay. It doesn't matter that they're not gray anymore. Whoops, that got too thick, but that's all right. Okay. Oh, puppy's barking. All right. So when you have finished, you never know if you're finished, but for now, if you think that you've got enough pink and purple and all that other stuff down, what we're going to do, make sure your bird is dry. I'm going to take my medium brush this time. I'm going to clean it off. And now, are you guys ready for another demonstration? Are you guys okay, or should I wait? Okay, I'll wait. I'll wait. No problem. I haven't even had any of my wine. Oops. I have to tell you, I've never painted this much in my life, and I love it. Doing these classes, I will paint 3 or 4 different things and think, what would people like? And I've got a cupcake started. I even found a cookie. I have a cup with flowers coming out of it. I have a peacock. So I have all these different things. I'm trying to think of what would, like after a bird, I don't want to do another bird. I've already done a whale, so later on I want to do those koi, the one that goes one way and the one that goes the other way. It's supposed to be a sign of, I don't know, health and wealth or something. I even have a tulip that I'm not super happy with, but I think it would be fun. I do. I have a tulip. I have to show it to you guys.
Can we make a peacock next time?
That'd be fun. I should, shouldn't I? Do the peacock. These are the tulips I was thinking of doing. They were kind of, but they're pretty, you know? So these are the tulips. And then I was even thinking about doing a cup of coffee. Not crazy. But the next one I'm going to do, it's not going to look exactly like this, okay, guys? But I was going to do this one. What do you think? It's really easy, much easier than this bird, but I'm going to change the color of the sky so that these look different. And I was thinking about making this one lighter and get darker, darker, and darker. So this is my first try at this one, but I'm definitely going to change it. But I love how everything turned out. Another thing is, at this point, you can decide what part looks the best. You can sit there and go, okay, do I want that there? Or do I want it over this way? You know what I mean? Or do I want it smack in the middle or farther down? Stuff like that. So this is my next one, and I'll send you the one that I like, the colors that I like better to make it really pop out.
Sorry kids, what about a glass of wine with grapes and like several different varietals with the colors, with the purples, the green? That would be really good.
You know what? You know what's funny is I actually have one. I have a wine glass,
Uh-huh.
an empty bottle, and all that stuff. It's really pretty. It's a green bottle, and it's got a label on it, but I made the label say McInnes or whatever. You can put your own name on it, you know, vintage. We got married in 93. So that's what I wrote on it, but it's so subtle that only if a person knew that I had painted it, they would know that I wrote McGinnis 1993.
Right.
I'll send you a picture of it. It's quite pretty. It looks like after the party, you know, like you've got the wine glasses a little bit empty, and you know, it definitely, like, the cork is sitting there and the wine bottle's empty, so it's really pretty.
I just thought grape clusters with watercolor would be
Yes,
good.
that would be good too. And also I was looking at, I'm thinking since fall's coming up, I might want to do some pumpkins as well, you know, like leaves and things like that. So anyway, lots of ideas. Does anybody need more time? Put your finger up if you need more time. Anybody? All right, cool. Okay, good. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my, this is called, the top one is called Burnt Sienna. Again, I'm going to move my painting out of the way because I always do this. I splatter, and it does stain. You'd think, really, how is it that watercolor stains? Well, it does. So I'm going to get a little bit going. You don't need much. Like I said, I gave you too much, but it would be ridiculous the amount that I would give you for how much you need. You need a dot.
Is it the small brush or the medium brush?
I would use the medium, sure. Yeah, I would use the medium because it's nice for massaging, you know, getting it going. Now, because this is such a big area, I don't need to move it. I'm not going to move it to another area. I'm just going to leave it right here, knowing that I have enough water on it and I'm not going to take it from the actual middle, okay? Then I'm going to go down, and this one is called, what is this one called? Burnt Umber. The first one's Burnt Sienna, which looks kind of rusty. This one, mine's pretty
Joan,
pinky.
My burnt sienna looks orange. It doesn't look brown like yours.
That's okay. It's
okay.
the light. It's the light. I swear to you, it is the light. It's supposed to look orange. It is definitely. It's supposed to look like that. Yeah, the colors and the lights and all that other stuff definitely changes the look of things. All right, then I'm going to get my burnt umber going. You don't need tons, but again, get that water in there and move it around. get that pigment started. Okay, and then the very last one that we'll be using for the bird, you barely need any of this. It's called Van Dyke Brown, and it reminds me of tar, like baby poop tar when they're first born. It is good, but it is a beautiful, beautiful dark, dark, dark brown. So these are the colors we're using for the bird. And of course, we'll be using for his beak and for his eye and his feet, we'll be using the Payne's Gray. So we will be using that one again, just FYI. This one's taken a while to get going. I don't know about yours. But I actually fill all the paint trays the night before and let them sit out for a day. Well, one day, Jack, my collie, he was so funny. He licked it and he got a nice big blob of one of these on it. So now I've had to put it up higher because I'm afraid that the cats and the dogs and somebody will get into it and it'll just be mayhem. Well, we're not going to do the white right now. The white is actually not a watercolor. It is what we're going to use at the end. It's for our, to make things look softer. And also it's not really a watercolor. It's more of an acrylic. Okay. So I hope you guys are ready with all three of your colors, sort of your orangey brown, and then your brown brown, and then your super brown. Okay? So what am I going to do first? Well, I'm going to take clean water and I am going to go all over him, even over his eyes, everywhere that I avoided before. Not the beak, of course. I mean, it doesn't really matter that I'm getting the beak, but I'm getting every single part of him wet, but the tail. I'm not getting the tail. If you got the tail, do not worry. It's okay because the tail will come in later. Don't worry, you're okay. Okay, so now I'm going to take my top one, which is called Burnt Sienna. It's going to look crazy dark. I'm going to go like that. Don't worry. Do not worry because I'm going to move it around. I'm going to wipe off my brush and I'm going to start sopping it up. Okay. And then I'm going to bring it out to the very edge of his belly. Okay. So it's all nice and wet. Don't worry about it being too dark because remember, it's fine. At this point, we have all the time in the world within the next 5 minutes. And I'm going to take some of it away, move it around. Okay. Clean off my brush, mop it up again. Okay. Now, if you want your belly to be lighter, that's okay. What you do is you just take it and you continuously clean off your brush, dry it off, and then gently take it away. I do it in the shape of a belly. I go ahead and put water on it and get that part wet, and I can move it around. See? And I'm pushing the color to other areas. So I know that I want his little head to have some color. I'll be going there. I know I want him to have a little color around his beak. I want a little color near his face. Rinse off my brush, dab it a few times, and do it again. Just kind of, it's almost like we're sweeping it away and then getting it, If it went into your tail, do not worry. Okay, now one thing I want to make sure is that this is very smooth on his belly. Okay, you can, if you want, make it a tiny bit darker at the bottom because he's bottom heavy. That would be cute. Oops. And there we go. Put it in there, get it kind of rounded. And a little Santa belly going on there. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Perfect. Okay. All right. I like it. So what we should do is wait until it's dry before we add his little hat and going down and then this other little part. So we can't really do that yet until it's dry. So, and then once that's dry, we can do his tail. So we really can't do anything just yet. Well, one thing I can do, as long as I don't touch his belly, is I can do his feet. So if you promise not to touch his belly, because if you touch his belly, the black will go up his belly, okay? So if you can very carefully get the Payne's gray, okay, I'll show you. I'm going to get wide here. I'm taking the Payne's gray, and I'm not using a lot. I'm not using a lot of water. I'm not going to touch his belly. I can go in and put his feet in because it's not touching anything. I can go right up there, and you know what? It worked. Remember, he's not a duck, so they don't have to be very big feet. There's one foot, and you might not be able to see the other one, but remember, it's just 3 little toes. And people will know basically that you have little toes going on there. You don't have to be like, all right. All right. So, is it getting dry? Ooh, it is. Ooh, it's drying everywhere else. I like it. But I don't think he's dry yet.
My feet's also fat.
Your feet are too fat? Afterwards, you know what we can do? We can add white. And we can narrow his feet down, and we'll put little tap shoes on him. And then he'll look great. Or she'll. We'll put little stilettos on her. Flip-flops. Now that would be hilarious. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm gonna feel it, and it's still too cool. You can usually tell that it's wet, not by the fact that it's wet, it's because it's still cold. So I can't do anything just yet. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna take my middle color. That is the burnt umber, and fingers crossed, I'm gonna go ahead and put in his little cap. I'm going to put in his cap. I have too much. Remember, you don't need that much. Anytime you think you have too much, just take it off. And I'm putting in his cute little hat. Now, whatever it is that thing's called, it goes right up to his nose, almost to his nose. And then if you look at the picture, it goes down his back. You can make that thicker, you can make it thinner, whatever you want. And it kind of goes near his eye. I know there's like a little part that goes in. I've lost it. So I'm going to draw it in again. Okay. I'm going to make it a little sharper here. And now going down, I'm going to not do his tail just yet. I'm going to go ahead and do his little feathers. Not much is happening. It's just one color. But right now I'm going to do that. Put that in there. If yours is wet and it's starting to go, that's just how it is. It'll look kind of interesting. But if not, let's try and keep it together. There. Very nice. Oops. I noticed it's sort of a swooping motion going down. Okay. You can have even a little bit going over the branches if you want to make it look like he's got extra little feathers coming down, you know? Just saying. Okay, so I'm going to go down to the very, very bottom one once that's done. And I'm going to put a little extra on top where his head is because I want it to look like he's got the darkest part up here. And then I'm going to put a little bit right along his back. And maybe just a couple little pieces in there. Just a little bit. It is definitely darker. Round it off a little bit. I keep changing the shape of his little area, but that's okay. Okay. And if you want to, if you think you've got too much there, like I said, you can take it off. Just put it in there and break it off. By the way, at the end, everyone shows me theirs. We all look at it and ooh and ah, and then you name it. So get to see your beautiful. Even if you think it's terrible, we still get to ooh and ah over it. Okay, now I'm going to take the Payne's Gray, or the dark color, and I'm going to very carefully, I should use my smallest brush, but I'm going to go in and put his beak. The beak is sort of a triangle.
Did you say in the darkest color just along his back?
I did. I put a little bit of the darkest color along his back.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then I'm going to take the black and do his nose, or whatever you want to call it, the beak. That's kind of scary because I don't want to mess up. So I'm going to be quiet. Oh. Okay. And then when it comes time to his eye, if you've got a steady hand, you can do his eye. Otherwise, you could put the blob part in for his actual eyeball. I'm going to use a smaller brush. And then we can always use the micron pen to put in the eyeliner because the eyes are so tiny and I don't have a very steady hand. So if your hand's not that steady, like I said, you may want to wait and do his eyeliner or her eyeliner at the end. I'm going to try it. I can't even do my own eyeliner. I am terrible at makeup. In fact, I went and got those false eyelashes glued on my eyelashes because I don't like putting on mascara. Ooh, that's expensive. Okay. All right, I'm going to put a little bit, it's almost like he's got a little bit of an olive looking eye. So I'm making sure that there's that part that goes one way. You could even make it go up. I mean, you could add eyelashes if you wanted to. Not eyelashes, but you could make that little part go up. Sort of the Egyptian da 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 da. I have Egyptian looking eyes. That's probably not PC, but oh well. Nothing is nowadays. Okay, so what else am I going to do? I kind of want to mellow out the part by his nose, by his beak. So I'm actually pushing back the color and blending it. I didn't want such a strong delineation between his nose, his beak, and his, you know, how you see that there's just, it looks a little softer right here. So again, just like with real makeup, you can soften it. You know, maybe you put on a little bit too much rouge and now it's time to soften it. Or when you put your lipstick on and you've got to do that. So I am picking it up. I'm picking up a little bit and pushing it back. Ooh. I don't know if mine's a girl or a boy yet. Haven't decided. And anytime you feel like you think you need a little bit more darker, you can always put his little cap on. You can put a little extra dark in there. That's okay. It's your bird. Do what you want. Okay. There. Ooh, such little details, huh? I'm sweating. Okay. I got to get a fan. When you think that this part is dry, this part right here by his tail, when you think that's dry, you can go ahead and put in, I would personally put in the top color. Put in the top color a little lighter. I wouldn't put it in super thick. So I'm using some water with it. I want it to be a different color than the back. I don't want it to look exactly like the back because I want it to look like there's a difference between, otherwise it looks like he's waving his hands up, you know? Oh, a teacher just asked me, when do grades go live? Friday. We have them turned off so the kids and the parents don't stress out. And then after back to school night, we turn them on so everybody can see their grades. That's when the emails start flying. Okay. All right. I am, again, you don't have to have it one color. You can go in there and kind of make it look like you've got little stripy stripes in there. And if you want to, you can even make it look like maybe there's an extra little piece coming out, you know? He might not just have one little, maybe he's got two. There, that's what I did. I put two. And now I'm going to add a little bit of dark to it, just at the top, and a couple little lines maybe, little stripes, because I don't want it completely a different color, but I definitely want it to look like it is separate from his body. So I added another little piece there, just for the fun of it. I don't even know if I want black, but I might put a little bit in, just a couple little stripy stripes. If you look at the picture, I do have some in there. So I'm going to throw some in just so it looks uniform. So he's got a couple little pieces in his wing. You can make it look sort of, I don't know, a little bit curvy there. And you can put little stroke marks in it. Maybe dab, 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 a little bit. Okay. And then I think I might be done. So if you look in your bag of goodies, there should be a white pen in there. What you can do is you can put little dots in for his eyes. I usually just do two little, oh, too big. Oh, well, two little dots because that makes it look shiny. And then I'm going to go through and put little curvy things in, little things here and there to make my my flowers look like they've got petals. You don't have to, of course. But I love this pen. You barely have to press down. The ink just comes out so nice. These are new pens, so they should work. One lady in the other class, I was so bummed, her Micron pen didn't work. It was a 005, so they're the super, super thin ones. I think they're the thinnest. And for some reason, hers didn't work. So I'm just praying yours work. There we go. Move it around. Remember, it's all about the details. Any little bits you can put in looks so good. Looking at his feet, if you think they're too dark, now is the time to go to the white. And you can get a little bit of water on it. You don't need very much at all. And then you can wipe it off. And wherever you think maybe things are too dark, you can just go in and it's almost like you're you're just sketching in little tiny lines. And they will disappear, by the way. They look like they're really white at first, and then all of a sudden they're gone. It's weird. So I do that if I find that I have put in lines that I think are too garish, too strong. Like I think his feet are way too dark. And so I'm going to put a tiny, tiny, tiny bit on top to make his feet look a little lighter. And now the attention's not brought to his silly feet. And that we know there's feet there, but I don't have to sit there and go, feet, they're black, they look ridiculous, right? So then the nose is too black too. So I'm going to take a little bit of white and put it on the very top of it. And makes it look a little less bright. Okay, now my micron pen is a number 005. I'm going to go ahead and go in and get his or her. I'm going to go over the lines around the eyeball. Okay, I like it. I'm even going to put in a little dot for the nose because I know they have like a little hole there or something. Do I like it? I like it. So now I have to decide where I'm going to sign it. So I'm going to take my frame. Where is my frame? Well, I know I have one around here somewhere. Ah, here it is. And now I have to decide if I want to have it this way. Then I would sign it right maybe up here. Or do I want it this way? I think this one I want this way because I want to make sure. And then I'm going to kind of look at it and decide, okay, if I want to sign it, I think everybody should sign it. I always put the date because you're not going to remember when you did this. Or maybe you will. You'll be like, oh yeah, that was that COVID year. The COVID.
I put a Q on all of mine.
You did for quarantine?
All of them. Yep.
Oh, that is funny. I'm going to write 2020 right on the twig. I mean, it's got to get better, right? Because it can't get worse. I'm actually loving teaching online. And my life has not changed that much. I'm embarrassed to say. I must not get out much. But, no, I think Friday. Okay. But what day is the 25th? If today is
Monday's the 21st.
Is Friday the 25th?
Yeah, 25th of Friday.
Okay. Oh, could be 25th. Okay, you're right. I don't know why he asked me. Okay, I am super happy with this one. And because I made her eyes look so amazing.
Me not happy.
You not happy?
Yes, because my my tracing, they all
Yeah.
disappeared. So I had to freehand.
Oh no. So you freehanded it.
Yep.
Well, you know what? It's still, but then it's your bird, and it turned out. It really did. In fact, let me pin your video, okay? I'm going to pin your video on the second cam. Can you guys see that? You know what? For drawing that freehand, that's pretty good. I think it's sweet.
Thank God I was mute because I was cursing like left and right. My husband's watching TV and he's just going like this.
Oh no. Oh my gosh. So what are you going to name him?
This is George.
George.
Yeah.
I think he does look like a George. I actually think he's sweet. Once you put a little frame on him, seriously. So I love it. George. Okay, Catherine, you've got a lot of people in your household. So I don't know if you guys are ready, but you can take your stuff. Can I see yours? Can I see yours? Let's have a look.
Annabelle's ready.
Annabelle.
First, she's 7. She's done a great.
Oh, Annabelle.
She loved that white pen.
I love it. Do you love it?
We're done. I just have to do the white dot in the eye.
I love it. You have to sign it. I think it's adorable. What are you going to name it?
I'm going to name it Frederica.
Frederica. It's a girl. Beautiful. Okay. All right. Let's see. Does mom want to go or is mom not going to do
It's
it?
not completely done yet.
All right. Let's have a look.
But I'm pretty happy with it. I don't consider myself a particular.
I like it. Your flowers turned out really nicely.
I'm excited about it. I love
I
it.
think
This
it's
has been tons of fun.
I love it. I really do. And you guys, all 3 of you doing this years from now, you're going to remember all of these birds,
Right? If she goes to college, we'll all have matching.
Exactly. I think that is we're making memories. It's not so much the bird, right?
And this is better than we've done the paint. I've done the paint nights. This is way more fun. I think watercolor might be my jam.
Oh, I'm so glad. Some people get very frustrated because it doesn't do what you want it to do.
I feel like it's a little more forgiving though, because like when I make it, I can kind of move it.
Yeah, there is time when you can move it, and that's as long as you know that it's, and I actually, I just got in today from Amazon special sponges so that if you make a mistake, you can actually pick it up completely. It's crazy.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, it's called Mr. Clean, some sort of special sponge, but they're amazing. Yeah.
When you signed, did you use a pen or did you use a paintbrush?
I used a pen because so I can write super small and you can even write it on the branch and that way it's hidden and no one will know. But I wrote the date on the inside on the actual branch and then I wrote J. McGinnis right there where the little curvy part is. Yeah, I did. See, I'll get zoomy in here. There, see right there.
Oh, you did in the, I see.
I did it a little higher than last time because when I did it too low, I didn't have the option of how to do it, So can I see your 13-year-olds? I just need to see it one more time. And what did you name it?
I haven't named it yet.
Is it a girl or a boy?
I don't know.
I like it. It really looks sweet. I think you got a sweet little bird there.
I love it.
No, you do not have to call me the little girl because my name is Annabelle.
Annabelle. And you have the Frederica.
Yeah.
Okay. I won't call you the little girl because you're not. You're 7, almost 8 on December 14th.
Freddie is a boy name, so I chose Frederica.
There you go. Okay.
It's a version of Freddie.
Thank you. Kim, how do you like yours?
I'm happy. It's still drying, so I haven't done any of the white or signed it.
Okay.
But here we go.
Ooh, it's beautiful. How sweet.
This
I
is
love.
Pam, and they use the pronoun they.
I like it. Thank you. All right. And now we're going to move on to Janet.
Okay.
I feel like I've been in your living room so many times, right? I feel like if I walked in, I would know where everything is.
Oh, yeah, you would.
I would. Let me see. Oh, you've improved. Look,
Can you see it?
you really got some nice detail in your flowers.
Yeah, I like the way my flowers came out.
I think it is adorable. Your feet are just so delicate and it just, what is her name?
Her name's Rosie.
Rosie. There you go, Rosie.
Yeah. Her tail's a little strange. I may go back and fix the tail.
You know what? I think she is just, she looks like she's really confident. Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
All right. Okay, Deanie, let's look at yours. Dun, dun, dun. Are you
Dun,
happy?
dun, dun is right. I made the eye way too big, so
Okay.
it looks
All
like
right.
he's wearing a mask, so I'm calling him Bandit.
Oh, well, you know what? Let's see. Hold it up. A little up high. Oh, you know what? That's kind of a different look. That could be just the way the bird is. You know, they have
be.
different things. There's no reason why not. Who cares, right?
Right.
I think he's awesome. Heather, Heather, Heather. I taught Heather's daughter, and she's probably using her Spanish, isn't she?
Yes, at the winery, she's.
Oh,
They even asked her to coordinate a group of the Spanish-speaking people to do English and English to Spanish. So she did.
oh, that's
Yeah.
wonderful.
She uses it a lot.
I'm
And
so glad.
when the workers don't think she knows Spanish, she knows what they're
Oh,
saying.
yeah, that can be a problem. Okay, so let me have a look at yours.
Okay, I'm probably gonna fix my sky a little bit when I'm done because like the other lady who's it was erasing my lines and
Yes,
I was afraid.
yes. So you got afraid. You know what? All you need to do to fix them
Yeah.
is you need to very carefully go in and get all of it wet. You know what I mean? Like not over the flowers.
Yeah.
But if you go ahead in there and you can fix that area, but you want to have the same level of water.
Okay.
Okay. Because if you just go in and fix those areas, you're going to see the difference. But if you massage it in there and you make sure that it's all wet, then you can kind of make it look like that's how it was supposed to look.
So wet with clear water and then
I would wet with
use some-
clear water,
Okay.
except for, you know, wherever you've painted already. But
Yeah.
I would go on the blue and I would go in the spaces that you didn't get.
Yeah.
And then I would just drop in some more. And don't be afraid of just getting the area that you didn't get. It's okay to let more blue do its own thing.
Okay.
You know,
Well, it's
because
2020. This is maybe how the sky is this year.
you
so I'll
know,
mark that.
right. And it might be your style. It is a style, you know. And so what?
Yeah. And I was like, again, I was a chicken.
Well, maybe you don't have to
to-
fix it then. And you know what? Your flowers look like berries.
I thought they were
You
strawberries.
know what? They
Yeah.
actually look like raspberries.
Okay.
That's my feeling because they have that sort of uniform look to them.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, for your first painting, that's pretty good.
My first one. This is named Sylvia because my mom growing up, she said September 17th, she created, this is my favorite day. And to the point where people started sending her flowers and cards on September 17th. And it was just this made up thing.
Is her name Sylvia?
Her name is Sylvia. So this
And today is
her-
the day.
Today's the 17th. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. So
Well, then,
yeah.
then you know what? You can't do anything else to that because
Right.
that's your bird.
Oh, maybe.
It is what it is. And don't point it out to anybody. You know, if they say, well, why doesn't the sky? Well, you know what? That's how I did it. That's my Sylvia. So
Yeah.
back off. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Missy.
This was fun.
Yeah, thank you. I was really glad you did it. Missy, where are you? Where is Missy? Now the problem is I don't know if she has a camera. Missy Bell? Hello? No? I have to tell you something. No? Missy, are you there? Okay, I'll move on. Oh, there's Pearl. Pearl, can we look at yours? Hello?
Hello.
Oh my gosh.
Pearl's
I know.
mom is here too. Yeah, you know Pearl.
I know you. I know you very well. What year did you graduate?
From MC?
Yes.
Yeah, in 2016.
That long ago?
Yeah, I just graduated from college.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe it. Look at you. How amazing. And this is
Yeah.
your mom.
Yep.
Yes, hi.
Hi. I know I've met your grandma.
Yeah.
Is she here too?
Yeah, here, I'll see if we can get her to come over to the camera and say
Oh
hi.
my
Come on.
gosh. Did you both do it?
Me and my mom.
Yes, here's mine. I'm really happy with it.
Wow. Look at your branches turned out really nicely.
Yeah, I really like how it came
I
out.
like it. I like it. Now, what
And
about,
Pearl's still painting as we speak, but I'll show you.
did you take art class in school?
Never. Oh, wait, did you? No.
No. Let me see yours. You
Okay.
know what's
I'm
funny
moving
is
the
I know you
camera.
graduated, but you almost look younger.
Yeah.
Doesn't she?
Oh, no.
Oh, look. Is it a girl or a boy?
It's a boy.
Boy, how cute. I like it. It's funny, but your branches look green. Are your branches green?
Yes.
Made 'em green.
Yeah, we both
Okay.
actually did green branches, and then
I
okay.
did
You know
too.
what? It worked. Hi. How are you doing?
Now Brandy's in there.
Yeah.
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Good. Good to see you.
I
Right
don't-
there. Right there. Is
Hi.
good. Yeah.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Do you remember me?
Slightly.
Okay, I'm going to move on. Very nice seeing you. I remember,
long
I
time.
saw your name. I was shocked. I was like, wait a minute. Oh my gosh. Okay, I
Well,
cannot say your
I've never
name.
found it again.
Let's see if I can find her. Shh. I can't say your name. Shradra. Where is she? Oh my gosh, I'm going to ask her to unmute it and see if she's there. Hello, hello. Oh my gosh, I don't know where she is. So, hi, Mrs. McGinnis.
Where's Annabelle? Yeah, your sister.
Annabelle. Where's Annabelle?
Oh, I can't hear her. Yeah, well, she has her
This
sister
one.
and my daughter.
Catherine. Oh, I see.
I'm Daffy's mom. Hey, Daffy.
Oh, hello. How are you? Wait a minute. Are you guys allowed everybody in there? Are you doing something? Are you allowed to have all these people in here? What? Are you breaking some rules?
We're a bubble.
Yeah, you are. You're a bubble. Okay, guys. Well, this is really fun. And please, if I didn't get to you, Missy, if you could send me a picture of yours, and Shadra, if I can even say your name right. I'm so sorry. I butcher people's names. Remember, Pearl? I can never remember anybody's names. I do that. That's my thing. Butchering people's names. Okay. So I think Janet took off already.
I'm still here.
There she is.
Yes, I'm here. I'm just cleaning up.
Oh, see? Good for you.
Did you
All right,
come up
guys.
here and clean up?
It's cleanup time.
See you Wednesday.
Okay, so I will send you an invite, and I mean, I will show you when I tidy it up and make it how I want it, hopefully. Let's hope it works. And then I will talk to you guys later. Please do me a favor and keep the brushes out of the water. Just keep them dry. And that way they'll hang around. And if you can possibly soak the plate, and you could take a spoon and chisel off the color if you can. Okay?
So you want, that's what I was going to ask. You want the palette clean as well as the brushes?
I would love it. You could just rinse off the brushes. You don't have to clean them or anything. But as far as the plate goes, if you could just like soak it for a little while and then get off the majority of it, because it stains so badly, you know. It's not so bad, but I just feel somebody was recommending me some cleaning solution, and I'm going to try it. But because I don't usually get them back until people take the next class. So then it sits on there for a week, and I think that's the problem. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So return it when you can. Worst case
Did
scenario.
you get the white pen from Amazon?
I did. I got the white pens from Amazon. I got the Micron. I ordered tons. I have quite a few of them. So yes, I did get them from Amazon. They're wonderful, aren't they?
They're great.
Fun.
I love them.
I don't know exactly what they are, but I did do a little research, and somebody were telling me which brands were better. And then I ended up getting a couple brands. So yeah, I think they came from China. We always say things smell like China.
Yeah.
You know, like when they come out of the packaging, we're like, oh, it smells like China because it's all plastic.
Look at how pretty it would be if you did a drawing on black paper with this white pen.
Oh, I know. It would be gorgeous.
That would be really nice.
Yes. Okay, guys. Well, it was fun. Thank you. And I
Bye,
really
Jenny.
appreciate you guys. Okay.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. All right. I'm going to have to close this somehow. And I'm going to turn off the stop share. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, bye, bye. Goodbye.